Hello, everyone. My name is Chavon Anette. I'm here with Shanice Jones, and I'm so excited about interviewing her today. It's a little different because Shanice and I are in the same place at the same time. So I'm excited to have you, Shanice.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes. And so what's really exciting about Shanice being here is because of the simple fact that she actually just got back from Vietnam.
Yes.
Literally a week ago now.
It's been a week.
So it's very exciting to have her here on the Power and Grace Leader Show. And I'm really excited because I know she has so much she's going to be able to share with you all that will empower you, motivate you, inspire you as a woman in leadership, as she's really taken off now in this season. So Shanice, I always start with just asking everyone to tell us a little bit about you. So would you mind just giving us a brief introduction to Shanice Jones?
Sure. So I am a social worker and a therapist in training. And I like to say in training because I just graduated with my master's in social work right before I went abroad. So in 2018. And so I am still studying for my licensure to do the therapy piece. But yes, also I am now a relationship coach.
Woo-hoo.
So that's exciting.
Yes.
A new name for my resume. Yeah.
That's really awesome. So we're going to dive into these questions because I know this is going to be a good interview. So you share with us that you have a bachelor's degree. Well, you share with us about the master's, but you have a bachelor's degree in psychology from Howard University. Yes. So my question is, what drew you to psychology? And then also, what was the experience like at an HBCU?
HU. So, honestly, I've always been curious about the way people think.
Right.
Like what drives people, what motivates them, what causes people to act in certain ways,
yes.
and certain behaviors. And that's what initially drew me to psychology. Like I wanted to study the mind in the way people think. And I think after studying with my bachelor's, and I really did love mental health, the mental health aspect. I actually wanted to go into social work for my master's because being a psychologist, you focus with your patients on their mental health, their mental wellness. And being a social worker, you do the same thing. But there's also a level in helping your clients find holistic solutions to their problems, whether that's behavioral, social, economic, health. So I like the all-encompassing thing of it. So I'm kind of excited that I have the psychology and the social work background. So that's a blessing. As far as the experience with going to a HBCU, I loved it. Honestly, I loved it. So, we went to high school together. Right. We went to a predominantly white high school. It was fun, but when I went to Howard, just kind of growing and developing myself, personally and professionally in an environment with other Black people, I loved it. Like it was just Black excellence.
Wow.
And I really felt prepared to be a Black professional in the world.
Wow.
Going to this HBCU, and everything was for the culture.
Yes.
It was fun. It was nice. And it was before, now we celebrate ourselves a lot, Black people. But even before that, on campus, we were celebrating, ourselves, being Black, being professionals.
So I love that. Yeah. And that's so good. And we talked a little bit about what's going on in the world. And as someone who went to a HBCU where you learned about Black excellence and being proud of your Black culture, what are some of your thoughts? And we don't have to dive deep into it, but what are some of your thoughts? What are some of your feelings about maybe what's going on in our culture right now with the losing of George Floyd and many others before him? So what's some of your heart about that?
Of course, I'm upset. Mm-hmm. I'm angry. I feel the same way so many people feel because this is like almost an organized genocide. Like we don't feel safe, and that's not okay. But it makes me even more passionate to help in whatever way I can in my community, helping people understand their mental health, understanding who they are in society, understanding how to function in society so we can stay safe so we can stay woke.
Right.
Okay, so
I
we
like
can stay
that.
vigilant.
Yes.
So we can stay prayed up.
Yes.
And so we can foster our relationships, because what's happening now has brought so many other topics to the forefront about the divisiveness of Black men and Black women,
right,
and the colorism issues and all the issues we have within our community.
Right.
And I say we need to deal with staying alive before we deal with those issues.
Yes.
But all of those things are relevant, and it just I'm on fire right now. That's because I'm like, honestly, there's a space and there's a need for what we are doing.
Yes.
There's a need for social workers. There's a need for psychologists. There's a need for teachers. There's a need for what we have to offer. So this is for all the Black excellence that exists. This is where we stand up. We're mad, but we stand up and we start using our gifts.
Yes. Yeah. I love that so much. That's so good. And I love how well you articulated it. And we thank God for Howard University and all that, that they instilled in you during those years that you were there. And so my question also for you is, you brought up the psychology of also even that. So how can psychology also basically address some of the things that are going on in the world?
I think that how you think.
Yes.
Sometimes we have to really renew our minds. We have to transform the way we think, because that in turn transforms the way we act, the way we behave, the way we see ourselves.
Right.
When you've been in bondage for years and years and years, you see yourself differently.
Yes.
And it takes a lot more than, positive Black slogans to get through to that.
That's good.
And mental health issues are rampant throughout our community, whether it be depression, anxiety, PTSD. I mean, watching somebody die online, that can invoke PTSD. And we have to address those issues. We have to address those issues in order for us to move forward, in order for us to rise up. We have to be mentally healthy.
That's so good.
Yeah.
And I would have never even thought about the PTSD that could be associated with even watching that video.
Right.
But I do remember thinking while I was watching it, I was like, I'm literally watching someone die.
Yeah.
And that was so huge. And when I really took that in, I was like, man, it's good that it brings awareness with the lives and the videos and different things like that. But to sit there and watch it for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, to watch that happen, that is a lot.
It takes a little bit of your soul.
Yeah.
Every time. And every time we see, because we've seen several other videos of Black men losing their lives. And we've seen countless more videos of them being abused.
Yes.
Right? Or beaten.
Yeah.
And that affects us.
Right.
We are strong as a race, and people understand that. But no one should have to see their own be killed in such a fashion, because we're all afraid.
Right.
Period. When you see the police, we're afraid.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to protect and serve us.
Yes.
So we're just.
That's so good. That's so good. So I love that you brought that element out in that. So I thank you for that, because I did not prepare you for that question. But Chrissy commented here, mental health is on the rise right now.
Yes.
And she said PTSD is so real. Yes. So thank you for that. And look, we have Kathy. She says she is up here watching from Kenya. That's pretty cool. Hi, Kathy. So wow. So that's so good. So let's get into more questions. I might pop up with more surprise questions, but I knew that was something that you were passionate about, and I really wanted to get your professional opinion as well as your personal opinion on the topic.
Of course.
So I thought that was excellent. So my next question is, how does your Love Jones? You said that this is something new, and it's beautiful, and I really love it. Yeah. So how does Love Jones connect with the psychology piece, as well as you just being a Black woman, beautiful, professional, all of the above, right? So how does all of that tie into why you created Love Jones?
So Love Jones is a platform that I've built to inspire women to level up in love and life.
I love
it. So it encompasses everything. And that's by helping single women cultivate healthy relationships, fulfilling, God-centered relationships.
Come on.
And so that is what Love Jones is about, because honestly, women of God, we cannot date in the way that the world is dating. We cannot do that, okay? We have to release that control of our relationships over to God, because we want to build covenant.
Yes.
And in Love Jones, I aim again to walk people through the process of that transformation from that worldly dating to that kingdom covenant.
Ooh, I love that.
Because as, you know, children of God, that's what we're looking for.
Yes.
And again, our relationships affect how we operate and how we show up in the world. And
wow.
Yeah, we are not built to just be alone.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's
we need
good.
to come into relationship, and we all have purposes, and a lot of us have purpose with a partner.
Right.
And we never meet that person, and we go through relationships getting, you know, cheated on or abused and dating multiple people, and it never works out.
Right.
Because we're not releasing that control to God.
Wow. That's so good. I love that so much. You hit on so many good things.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you said it's about God-centered relationships.
Yes.
And then I also love how you said relationships affect how you show up in the world.
Yes.
I think that's so, so good.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give an example of maybe a toxic relationship and how that might show up in maybe somebody's everyday life? And they didn't even realize that that relationship was affecting these other things, but it is.
Absolutely. So if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, or even a lot of times we see women maybe taking care of a man.
Right.
So you're with a man who doesn't really like you that much. He doesn't show you a lot of respect, and you're kind of like hanging on for dear life just to kind of say you have a relationship.
Wow.
And so you're hardened, you're jaded, you're muling, you have no peace. You
That's
know,
good.
You are always working, you're always overworked, overburdened. So you have no time for self-care. You have no time to decompress. You have no time for devotion time and prayer. You're not living in your best light. You're not living intentionally.
Yes.
And that all shows up in your day-to-day. You can't enhance yourself. You can't move forward in life. It's harder to accomplish your goals.
Come on.
Okay, so we need support. We need to be in supportive relationships.
Wow.
And we need God at the center of our relationships. If you're always getting cheated on and you're always getting played, you're not happy. And you're not in tune with God, because God is going to get you out of those situations the moment you seek him. The moment you seek him and surrender to him, right? He's going to get you out of those situations. So I think our relationships reflect where we are in life,
right?
How close we are to God, how close we are with ourselves, our self-love, our self-worth. You can see all of that in the relationships that we form.
That's so good. And I love that you said you need those supportive relationships. And I also love that you said it's about living intentionally. And I think that's so, so good. So what if there's a single girl who's watching right now, a single woman watching right now, and they're thinking, Shanice, I think I'm in a toxic relationship. What do I do? What maybe are some barriers that is literally stopping that person from really letting go of that relationship or walking away from that relationship that they realize is toxic or unhealthy?
I think that the attachment.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't have to get as deep as having unhealthy attachments in childhood. We don't have to go full psychological with it, but oftentimes we have an attachment to that person. And even though we know they're wrong for us, even though we know this relationship is bad, we are still getting something out of being connected.
Wow.
We need somebody. We just need to feel love. Even if we know it's not real love, in that moment, we need a warm body in our bed. And I think recognizing that God is everything, and it can sound so cliche to some people, but literally God is everything. We get our strength, we get our love. He's going to love us unconditionally. He wants the best for us.
Right.
He wants the best for us. So he's going to partner you with somebody who's ready to love you.
Wow.
And before that happens, he may have to build you up. He may have to prune you. He may have to get some of that stuff up out of you.
Yes.
And that's a process many people don't want to go through. Many people don't want to start over. Many people don't want to be single, especially when you hit a certain age and those milestones of you're not married, you're not having kids, you're not on the gram flexing your Black love. But that stuff is not important. Like, it's working on you first and foremost. When you're in a toxic relationship, it's time to cut it off.
Yeah.
Period. Like, it's you or them. You're going to kill yourself spiritually, mentally, to be with somebody who's doing you wrong.
Right.
It's not worth it.
I love that so much, Shanice. This is so good. I love it. So I love it. And it goes right back to that kingdom covenant.
Yes.
So do you really want it God's way, or do you want it your way? And it's really doing more harm than good.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's so good. I love it. So another aspect of you mentioned it, that you've traveled abroad.
Yes.
So Shanice was literally out of the United States of America for a year and a half,
Yes.
traveling abroad. And that's one of my desires, is to go around the world and travel. But you did it in a very, I would say, uncommon fashion.
Right.
And so
Yes.
I would just love for you to just take us through maybe some things that you've learned along the journey, studying abroad, as well as how have you matured as a person from traveling abroad, because people always have such good stories. Like,
Right.
I went to Kenya, or Kenya is up here, but I went somewhere and it was like life transforming for me.
Right.
So what was your experience like?
Honestly, I feel that way. Of course, as in life, there were ups and downs,
Right.
but honestly, I wouldn't trade this experience for the world.
Wow.
Like, I grew so much and I learned so much just about myself. I think that I really developed my relationship with God during this time.
Yeah.
And he showed me so much. And I actually learned how to be still. Be still and surrender.
Come
so now
on.
I can listen to God. I can hear from him. I can have confidence that I'm hearing
Yes.
from him. And I learned so many things on this journey. Just like, I healed things that I didn't even really realize were broken inside of me. And it felt so good. I learned to stop taking myself so seriously.
Wow.
You know, I've learned to let go. I learned to live more intentionally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is all through the stumbling blocks as well as the positive aspects. I've learned I can communicate with anybody. Any language, whatever you speak, I can speak with you. I've just learned to let go, to not be so uptight. And I felt so much freeing, you know, so much more freeing. Yes. So, and I feel like I live more intentionally every day. And I see, as I come back to America, I see things a little bit differently being abroad so long, because I was anxious to come back, especially after COVID started, and I missed home. But I realized that I didn't need that time to be pruned.
Come on.
And I was.
Wow.
And so I really thank God for that.
Yeah.
Like, it was an amazing experience.
Wow. That's so amazing, Shanice.
Yeah.
And I love even you talking about it. There's just so much passion. Your same passion for studying abroad and what you learned and what you gained is the same passion that I see with you with Love Jones. Yeah. And I think that's so amazing. Yes. And I love that you said you learned how to be still and surrender. There were some things that God healed in you that you didn't even realize that needed to be healed. And that's so, so good when you get that opportunity to be in a place where it's completely unfamiliar and God is like, okay, let me deal with Shanice.
Yes.
I love it. Yeah. That's so amazing. And I love even that you said there were highs and lows, because sometimes we only think only the good things teach us the lessons, but sometimes those hard places we learn a lot of lessons. We learn to really press into God more.
Yes.
And so
I did.
Yeah, that's so amazing, Shanice. That's so wonderful. So my next question for you is, you recently created a YouTube channel where we can connect with Love Jones and get all of your wonderful talks and just wisdom and knowledge as it pertains to relationships as well as life, right?
Yes.
And building that relationship with God. So what has it been like for you really embarking on this journey? Was it easy at first? Was it challenging? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, so it was very challenging. As you know, you've kind of been there through it. It was very challenging for me at first because I was almost like afraid to put myself out there.
Right.
And I was nervous. I mean, I'm nervous now being on live, but I've just learned to press past that by pressing into God. So, I just rebuke that spirit of fear. You know what I'm saying? Because God did not give me that.
That's
spirit
right.
Of fear.
Come on.
The spirit of power and a sound mind.
Yes.
Right? I rebuke just, feeling self-conscious. I got tired of sitting on the sidelines and not doing something because I'm fearful or because I'm like, who's going to listen to me?
Come on.
Or this is not going to reach the people it was meant to reach. And God's like, let me take care of that. You just do what I put on your heart to do.
Wow.
So that's what I did. And that's what I'm doing. I don't
so
always have all the answers. I'm still on the journey, but
come on,
it gets easier and easier every time. And I feel good. Like I feel good knowing that I've pushed past the fear.
That's so good, Shanice. I mean, that is so powerful. I love that you said you got tired of sitting on the sidelines.
Yes.
That is so good. I don't know if there's someone up here watching right now. There's a desire to do more. There's a desire to experience more and be what God has called you to be. But you're fearful. You're letting that fear stop you. So you find yourselves on the sideline. And it's like you're on the sideline and the coach is like telling you, come on, it's your turn to get in the game. But you're like, no, it's okay. Like, but you're here, you're on the bench. You say you want to be used. You say you want to do what I've called you to do. But you're like, wait, coach, no. But the coach is like, but if I'm calling you, that means you're ready. You're ready to take your position.
Yes. Answer the call.
Yes.
Answer the call.
I love that so much. Answer the call. I love that so much, Shanice. That was so good. So my next question for you would be, what advice would you give a woman who is looking to venture out and do something new, but it's really scary?
Honestly, I would say think about 10, 20, 30 years from now, how you will feel when you didn't step out on faith.
Wow.
I'm sure that feeling is much worse than whatever fear you're feeling in that moment.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's
step out on faith. Pray for confidence. Pray for boldness. Pray for courage. Pray for whatever you need to pray for to get you up, because whatever it is that's been placed on your heart is probably placed there by God. And you have no idea how it relates to your purpose or helping other people or how it will develop you as a person, your character. You need those experiences, whether that is traveling, whether that is starting a business, going back to school, whatever it is that you're trying to do, you have to step out on faith. You have to.
Come on.
Yeah. And like I said, with my YouTube, I was praying, like, God, please give me confidence. I need confidence. Where is it? You have to just do that.
That's so good, Shanice. Yeah. That is so powerful. Mm-hmm. And I love that you said you pray for the confidence, you pray for the boldness. Yes. So that means a part of your journey was like, God, I'm coming to you. Yes. Like literally, I cannot do this in my own strength. Exactly. And fear sometimes is you relying on you. Mm-hmm. It's you relying on my capabilities. Wait, I'm not capable of this. Or do I have enough knowledge? Do I? Exactly. That's the issue. It's the I. Yes. That's the problem. Yes. When you should be focused on, okay, God, this is what you want me to do. God, this is your will. And not only that, not only is your will, it's like, God, there are people out here who need what you have put in me, right? What you've deposited in me. Yes. So that's so good, Shanice. Yes. And everything that you've shared today and everything that you have literally expressed to us, you have literally shown us, you've showed us the experience that you've gained, the knowledge that you've gained, the wisdom that you've gained. You have so much to give the world. Yes. I mean, she has been amazing. You have been phenomenal. And I just want to tell you again, thank you for being a part of this show.
Absolutely.
And
thank you
look,
for having me.
It's my pleasure. So everyone, we are going to put in the comments a little bit later. We're going to put in the comments how you can go to Shanice's YouTube channel and you can even connect with her. Maybe you want to hit up in the inbox and say, Shanice, girl, your testimony, you answering those questions spoke directly to me. I needed that. I'm going to get off the sidelines. I'm going to have a kingdom covenant relationship. Come on.
Strive for that kingdom covenant.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
That's so good. So Shanice, before we pray out, I like to pray out. Can you just one final thought or one final statement that you want to leave with the people about anything?
I would just say, honestly, we don't have time. We don't have time anymore to play around. And I think when you start getting fed up with not living the life that you know that you're supposed to be living, the life that God has for you, whether that's in your relationships, that's in your business, that's in life in general, get out of those toxic relationships. Stop sitting on the sidelines. Get up and go. Move. We don't have a lot of time right now. We're all here for a reason.
Come on.
Such a time as this.
That's right.
Okay. So that means if you're still here, if you're watching this, if you're breathing, then you have a purpose. Figure that out and get moving. We have to. It starts just by prayer.
Come on.
Prayer. Start there first. Yeah.
Come on, Shanice. She is speaking up in here today. This has blessed me. I know it has blessed you. So I always invite you all to share. If you believe that this will bless somebody else, you can share it on your main page, or you can just share it to somebody's inbox. Like you have a best friend, like, girl, you need to watch this. I know I will inbox somebody in a minute a video I didn't watch. So
yes, you will. She be inboxing.
Yes. So look, if you believe this will bless someone, make sure you share. But this has just been so good. So good, so refreshing, so motivating. And so look, if there's any area where I'm on the sideline, I'm going to make sure I get up off that sideline in this season, because that's what God is calling for such a time as this. Come on.
Absolutely.
So let's go ahead and pray out. Do you mind if I pray real quick?
Go ahead.
All right. So Father God, in the name of Jesus, God, we thank you for this time together. God, we thank you for allowing us to come together and talk. God, we even thank you for bringing Shanice back safely, God. God, we thank you for everything, God, that you are allowing her to have the boldness and the courage to do, all because she sought you first. God, I pray right now, God, that she would be a voice for the nations, that she would be a voice for the masses, that literally women will come and flock to her because what she has to say is literally changing their lives. God, thank you, God, for every deposit that you put in her life and every deposit that is to come. God, we ask you right now that you would just have your complete way. And everyone who is watching this video, God, if there have been people who have been stuck on the sidelines, God, I pray right now that they would have the courage, that they would have the tenacity, that they would have the boldness to get up off those sidelines and walk in purpose and walk in destiny as you have called and created all of us to do in this season and at this time of our lives. God, I thank you, God, that I even hear in the spirit that you're literally putting us on a launching pad. God, thank you for the launching pad that's going to launch us from one level, one season to the next, because we're willing to do it your way. God, Kingdom Covenant, your way. God, business, your way. God, YouTube, your way. God, live videos, your way. God, whatever it takes to honor you, to glorify you, God, that's what we're going to do. So God, we just honor you, we love you, and we bless you. We say yes to your will and your way. Thank you, Jesus, for what you have called us to do, for what you have chosen for us to do. We honor you and we love you. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. All right. I love you all so much. God bless you. And remember, we're going to be in the comments with Shanice's YouTube link.
Also, we'll leave my Instagram. So for women, if you are single or if you're in, toxic relationships, I would encourage you to follow me on Instagram. I have a lot of inspiration and motivation for Kingdom Covenant and relationships on that Instagram. So we'll leave that in the comments, but it's S_Love Jones.
I love it. All right, y'all. Make sure you go follow her. Look, spread the word, spread the good news. Shanice is out here doing a great thing for the single women. All right. I love you all so much. God bless. Bye.